All right. Welcome, everybody, to How to Reclaim Your Power, Self-Worth, and Confidence, Even After Trauma. I'm Elizabeth Menzel. I'm the founder of the Happy Woman Academy. And I founded the Happy Woman Academy because my passion is helping women get out of pain and plug back into their power. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for taking the time to be here for yourself so you can take a giant step forward along your healing path. And I'm going to open this healing vortex right now so we can join our energy together. And everybody go ahead and just take a deep breath all the way down into your belly and let your shoulders relax. And just let yourself be easy. Just let yourself be present here now for this healing hour together. And I invite you to align with your highest good so that you get exactly what you need to move forward with your healing. And so it is. Thank you. So because I have so much information to give you in a very short amount of time, I'm going to be talking as fast as I can. And I'm also going to be following along with my notes. I've had 9 concussions, so I need as much form to help me flow and give to you as much as I can. So please hold your questions to the end. And if you want to stay for the Q&A after party, you can do that. And also, please stay until the end because I'm going to be tying everything together so that you really get it and it really makes sense to you and you can use it. And because I'm going to be talking about things that you might already know a lot about, but I'm going to be filling in the gaps. So all the things that maybe you have a lot of concepts or theories, but you don't quite know how to use them and make them work for you, that's what I'm going to do for you today. I'm going to give you that missing link. And I'm also going to reveal a brand new surprise at the end of class that manifested partly because of Melissa. So today, my intention is that by the end of this class, you're going to know how to break the cycle of powerlessness, low self-esteem, and pain, both physical and emotional pain, in the fastest and easiest way possible so that you can feel energized whenever you want. And I'm going to teach you how to train your brain to create happy hormones on purpose. So what I really want women to know is that no matter what you're feeling or what you're going through right now or what you've struggled through in your past, you aren't stuck forever. There isn't just hope. There are very real steps you can take to move yourself forward. And even if you're feeling pretty great and your life is pretty great, I can attest that as I keep using what I'm about to teach you, I get more centered, more relaxed, more capable, and able to handle all the crazy things that life throws at me. So you can always raise your happiness set point. So my biggest concern is that you gain the ability to plug back into your power and you can feel like the real you that's underneath all your trauma, all your noise, all your pain, that real you that is always powerful, worthy, and confident. So the problem today is that there's a women's happiness crisis in America. Maybe you have noticed that. There's actually a Wharton School study that shows that women's happiness is at an all-time low. Now, 70% of Americans report being traumatized, yet 97% of domestic violence does not go reported. So it's not even taking domestic abuse into account in that 70%. And women are twice as likely to develop PTSD or PTS, post-traumatic stress symptoms, than men. But the problem is women don't know that their symptoms are from post-traumatic stress. So it goes undiagnosed, it goes mistreated to the tune of $43 billion annually just in the United States. $43 billion, what we could do with $43 billion extra dollars, right? So one of the biggest symptoms of post-traumatic stress is that you avoid doing all of the fun, healing, positive, good things for yourself that you know you could or should be doing. And you also avoid the positive, happy people in your life that could actually help you feel better. That's part of post-traumatic stress. And, you know, maybe you, one more step, that the biggest symptom of post-traumatic stress is anxiety and depression, right? Isn't that amazing? So you might not feel anxious or depressed. That's cool. Remember when I said you can always feel better and better and better. But I'm going to go through a list and you can check it off, like make a little tally mark to see how many of these things on this list you can relate to. And I'm going to go through it really fast. So on your paper, it says, do you ever? Okay, do you ever? So do you ever take care of everyone and everything else first and put yourself last? Do you feel too scared to speak up? Do you ever struggle with your body image? Stress about the future? Worry about what others think of you? Go along what others want instead of what you really want to do, and then you feel resentful about it? Do you ever keep pushing yourself even if you feel exhausted? Or brag about being too busy to eat or sleep? I call that stress bragging. So have you ever noticed, put your tally marks there, that your back and neck are often stiff, or maybe you already know you have fibromyalgia? And have you ever noticed that if you make a little mistake, you scold yourself in your head? Or that you don't feel like asking for help? Or how about this one? If plans suddenly change, you have a moment of panic. And does negative energy really throw you off or bring you down? Got just a few more. Have you ever felt like you're alone, even if you're with other people? Or that everything is spinning out of control? Or that you feel trapped even though nobody is holding you down? Or that you can't really ever trust anybody? Do you ever feel like you don't have enough or you never are enough? And the last one, are you so busy doing what everyone else wants you to do that you've lost track of what makes you happy? Now that was a really big list, but I wanted to give you a wide spectrum. When any of those problems happen once in a while, that's just normal being human. But when these things happen regularly or daily, or they're your normal way of being, then there is a really good chance that you have post-traumatic stress. So when you feel that way, you devalue your self-worth, and it's costing you your health, your happiness, and your sense of power. So the reason that smart spiritual women think they couldn't possibly have post-traumatic stress or post-traumatic stress disorder is because usually when people think of the word trauma, they think of big, horrible events that cause it: rape, war, a car crash. But the truth is that trauma can be like 1,000 tiny little cuts that happen throughout your lifetime, gradually wearing you down and causing you to feel trapped in hurtful thoughts and behavior. And for women, our low self-esteem gets made even worse by a sexist society that devalues women and bombards us with constant hurtful messages. We work more, we get paid less, we get judged for having emotions, and we get abused for being loving. So I truly believe that as you boldly step forward to reclaim your power, self-worth, and confidence, that it has a ripple out effect, and you help to empower other women to do the same. That is what motivates me. That's what keeps me going when I feel like giving up. I'm not just doing this for myself. I'm doing this for women all around the planet. And that's how we're going to heal the happiness crisis, the women's happiness crisis, one empowered woman at a time. So what happens? Let's look at what happens when you feel this stress and trauma that's been piling up in your system for years. So go ahead and close your eyes and imagine that you feel so well taken care of that you are overflowing with energy to care for others. Imagine waking up and all of your pain and stiffness is gone. Imagine feeling free to let go of people who no longer serve you and situations that cause drama. Imagine feeling love, acceptance, and appreciation for your body, even if you are sick, overweight, or injured. Wouldn't that be a miracle? Imagine walking into the big meeting at work and feeling totally confident, asking for what you want, and always getting paid your worth. Imagine being in a fun, sexy relationship with a trustworthy partner who totally gets you. And imagine that you easily stand strong in the eye of the hurricane when everything is spinning out around you and you feel calm, centered, and happy. That interchange has happened for me. It's happened for my clients. It can totally happen for you if you use what I teach you here today. So go ahead and open your eyes. And know that I am no stranger to the issues that make women unhappy. I started my healing career in 1993 as a neuromuscular therapist, and I specialized in injury rehabilitation and fibromyalgia. And I was just focused on the physical aspects of healing soft tissue pain. But after 3 years of helping people over and over and over, I discovered a connection between all of my fibromyalgia clients that wasn't physical. At the time, I called it frozen fear. And 3 years later, in 1996, I started my 4-year training and became a Brennan Healing Science practitioner. And at that same time, I also started studying trauma at a deeper level and the emotional and physical sides of trauma. And I've continued that education to this day. That's how I met Melissa. We're in Z Health training, and that's a system based in neurobiology and movement. I'm using it to help undo pain. So I still focus my work on the proven science of overcoming physical and emotional pain because they're both completely inseparable. So today I'm going to give you the exact 5 steps that your brain needs to take in the order your brain needs to take them so that you can take back the reins of healing into your own hands. I also have a strong personal connection to the issues that make women unhappy, especially this woman. I was born to parents who didn't want a kid. So my father believed that girls didn't matter. And so I always tried to be perfect so that he would love me. And I tried to be invisible so that he wouldn't yell at me. But that didn't work. He was a terrible bully and very abusive. And I was totally scared of him. And my mom was traumatized by him. And she was also traumatized by her mother, who was traumatized by her mother, who died at 13. And she was left to raise 5 kids. So throughout my life, I internalized my father's hatred of women by hating myself. And I internalized my female ancestors' suffering by neglecting my needs and never feeling good enough. I started reading self-help books at 12 years old. But I'll be really super honest with you, my healing path has been rough. I married an abusive husband who was just like my dad. He was a bully and a narcissist, and I went through a lot of dark times. And at 40 years old, I was finally diagnosed with depression from PTSD. And believe it or not, it was a relief. It was a relief because even though I had studied trauma for all of that time, I was blind to the level of my own. I've healed a lot in the last 12 years since my diagnosis, and I've really turned things around. I'm in a relationship with an awesome man. We're going on 10 and a half years, and it's great. It's everything I ever wanted. I've distilled 25 years of healing knowledge into the 5 steps I'm about to teach you, and I use them every day. And I'm living my dream of traveling the world and teaching and healing and getting to be in circles with women. So I want to pass the ability to feel happy after trauma onto you. Because what I know for sure is we repeat it until we heal it. So let's get started on healing it. The steps I'm about to teach you, they're all backed by science and they're proven to work, although they really do seem like magic. And I really want you to get this. So on your worksheet, it says, why are you here? What do you want to get from this? What do you want to focus on for your healing today? So go ahead and write that down and bring that top of mind. I'm not going to ask you to share that. Don't worry, it's totally private. And so just try to focus on one thing, what you wanted to get today. Got it? All right, let's go on this ride. So you can fill this in on your worksheet, but I also here, I'm going to unmute you. Bink. Unmute. There we go. Is it fair to say that everyone here knows what it's like to feel uncentered? Give me some feelings of what you feel like when you're uncentered, or type them in.
Panic.
Panic.
Frazzled.
What else you got?
Frazzled.
Frazzled.
Stomach ache.
Oh, stomach ache. I know that one. Yeah.
Not knowing where to start.
Not knowing where to start. So feeling overwhelmed. Yeah. Melissa's saying, yep, to everything you guys are saying.
Weak.
Never remembering being centered. Oh, girl.
There you go.
Yep, right? I so hear that. You're gonna get how to do it today. I'm actually gonna give it to you in 5 minutes or less. Tension. Right. Yep. We are so with you. We're all on the same page. Clearly, you all know what it feels like to be uncentered.
Oh no.
How do you feel when you're centered? What does that feel like?
Grounded.
Grounded. Ooh, my
Powerful.
I hear you. I'll tell you about that too. More centeredness. How do you feel? Grounded.
Powerful.
Powerful.
Everything
In control.
can work out.
In control.
Fearless.
Slate. Blank slate.
Blank slate. Oh my God, I love that one. Yeah, girl. Bring it. So I'm going to trust that all of you knows what it feels like to be centered. Wouldn't it be freaking great to feel like that anytime, whenever you wanted? Confident. Oh, what did I just do? Okay, I gotta do it another way. It's okay. Yes. All right. So yes, awesome to feel centered on purpose. That's what you're gonna learn here today. So if you go to turn on a lamp and the lamp doesn't turn on, the light doesn't come on, and you think, oh my gosh, is the lamp broken? Is the light bulb missing? And you check, and then you look deeper and you're like, oh, duh, it just wasn't unplugged. You plug it back in, the light comes on. That's the same with you. When you are feeling broken or like something is missing, when you feel powerless and unworthy, what you are actually feeling is that you aren't plugged in to your power. Got that? So that's what you're actually feeling, that you're not plugged in. Because when you're centered, you even say it yourselves, you feel your power, you feel your energy, you feel your confidence, right? It's only a problem when you're disconnected from your own power. Let's see, we've got some sound. There we go. I think that's going to do it. Excellent. All right. So it's more than just that. When you have that centered feeling, what you are also feeling is a functional and chemical switch in your brain. And then boom, fresh ideas come, amazing opportunities come to you, prosperity flows, you're in the flow, your health improves, and you can manifest things with joy and ease. So I'll give you a quick example. I say that 2018 was the best year I've ever had. It was my favorite year. But on paper, that year looks like a crazy hot mess. It does not make sense that that could possibly be my best year. And that's because there was a lot of chaos. We decided to move to Pittsburgh. We had been here once really quickly, but we didn't know anyone or anything. Dale didn't have a job. Then he got a job, but he got it a few days before we were going on a 2-week trip. So then he did the job on the trip because it's a virtual job. And then we came back and I packed my house. And then I got a speaking gig in the Netherlands. And I went and I literally went, I spoke, I turned around and I flew back. And then I finished packing my house and then we put everything in storage. And then we moved into with friends, which is one of my most hated things because of that whole thing of afraid of being visible, right? I just want to be invisible to stay safe. And it turned out to be amazing. It turned out to be this awesome, beautiful thing. And then I needed foot surgery and I had to stay with friends for 6 weeks longer. And it was gorgeous. So all of these things that in the past would have really effed me up and thrown me right out of my center, I did what I'm going to teach you, and I stayed happy. I actually stayed joyful and really created one of the best years of my life. We moved here. We manifested this amazing house in 5 days. It was really fantastic. And usually when you have that centered feeling, it's happened by accident. And you might pop in and out of it many times a day, but you don't stay there long enough to sustain the feeling so it's your normal way of being. And that's what I did last year. So wouldn't it be great to have that as your normal way of being, right? So I formalized this system about 5 years ago after giving hundreds of clients the same homework for 20 years. And I really, at that time, I really took on a bigger commitment to my own healing. And I formalized it and I started using it myself consistently. And that's what made really big, huge shifts for me, and that ability to sustain feeling centered, sustain feeling happy. So I call it the Happy Woman Formula. And step 1 is what I think, was it Brianna? I think this is what you said, right? Step 1, bring yourself to center. The ability to even notice that you're not centered. So it is that awareness that you're not centered. And you need to become aware of what that feels like in your system. And you all already told me, so I know that you know. All of those uncomfortable, negative things you think, feel, and do are because you're uncentered, because you're disconnected from your power. And you're often disconnected from your power because every time stress is triggered in your system, you rip your cord out of that power socket. You rip your grounding out of the earth. Now that doesn't sound very scientific, but buckle up because here comes the neuroscience. How would you react if you were walking along down the sidewalk and all of a sudden a bird came flying at your face? You'd go like this, right? That's the startle response or the startle reflex. And that automatically dumps stress hormones into your body in a quarter of a second. So how many times do you get startled or triggered or sad or pissed off per day? Especially if you spend a lot of time on Facebook, right? Every time that happens, stress hormones get dumped into your bloodstream. So how does stress, those stress hormones, how does that turn into trauma in your system? It's true with every mammal. It's going to be easier for you to really get and visualize if I use this example. Say you're a gazelle in nature. You're on the savannah, you're there, you're eating grass. All of a sudden, you hear something. And what do? You freeze. Your eyes look around, your ears turn around, you orient the sound, and you see something out of the corner of your eye, and boom, you take off, right? When you went into that freeze, that stress hormone was dumped into your system so that you could run away or fight, right? Or freeze. So you freeze, then let's say first you see it, and then you run away. You run and run and run until either you get taken down and eaten or until you run out all of the stress chemicals, get to safety, and come back to relaxation, right? Or say you see the thing, it jumps at you, and you fight. You either get eaten or you fight and you fight and you fight until you're safe again. You've burned out all the stress chemicals. You come back to safety. You come back to relaxation. Your body makes relaxation chemicals again. Yes, there are such a thing as relaxation chemicals, right? Now let's say you freeze. Oh, but you know what? It was just a bird on a twig. It wasn't a predator. You're fine. You're safe. Now what are you going to do with all those stress hormones? And in the wild, animals shake. They shake. Their skin twitches. Their whole body shakes. They shake it off. They shake out the stress hormones. But what do? We usually clamp down even harder. And when we do that, when we don't let ourselves shake, even though we feel shaky after something's thrown us, all those stress chemicals sink into the soft tissue of your body. So the short definition of trauma is that you didn't get to burn off all of those stress chemicals and come back to a relaxation response. The shorter definition of trauma is too much, too soon, too fast. When something happens too much, you get overwhelmed too quickly. You can't handle it in time. And too soon, before you were ready. And the shortest definition of trauma is stuck stress. Stuck stress. The Center for Disease Control says that 90% of doctors' visits are due to stress-related symptoms. They say it's the #1 epidemic in America. And it's to blame for so many ailments. The short list: sexual dysfunction, digestive disorders, increased sickness, increased weight gain. That's just a few. And the point of the stress response is to create a sudden and very temporary state to increase your chance of surviving an attack on your life. That's a great thing. But here's the problem. Are you having an issue again with your credit card? An argument with a troll? Running late for a meeting? Are those things actually threatening your life, or are they just freaking annoying you? The more often you stress out over non-life-threatening things, the more your brain gets wired to use the stress response for every little tiny non-life-threatening thing that happens in your life. You actually train your brain to stress out. And if you aren't actively training your brain to feel centered, you are training it to feel uncentered. So you can get addicted to the adrenaline stress hormones. How many of you know a drama queen? How many of you are a drama queen? That's a stress hormone addict. So from now on, this is how to answer your question. From now on, every time you feel stressed, depressed, anxious, numb, you're freaking out in any way, I want you to use those uncomfortable feelings as the alarm bell that says, warning, it's time to bring yourself to center. Warning, it's time to bring yourself to center. That is how you know. If you aren't feeling centered and awesome, it's time to bring yourself to center. Our natural state is one of joy, bliss, happiness. In 2003, I had a sudden awakening. I call it a glimpse of enlightenment to my absolute purest state. And it is just equanimity. So you're allowed to feel that good, because you do not want to be manifesting your life from an uncentered, stressed out place. That's how you get yourself into these painful situations, bad relationships, dead-end job, not enough money. We're ending that now today. So repeat after me. I get centered first before I do anything.
I get centered first before I do anything.
I'm going to trust that you said it. The next 4 steps are how you do it. You know you want to be centered. How are you going to do it? So step 2, step 1, bring yourself to center. Step 2, by using your breath. Let me give you all the signs on this because it's amazing. It's awesome. Breath has to be your first step in training your brain to create happy hormones. And this is why. Shallow breathing sets off stress chemicals in your brain. It forces your brain to make stress chemicals when you're not deeply breathing. Deep breathing switches off the stress chemicals, switches on the relaxation chemicals. How cool is that? So slow, deep breaths for a while will start you producing those happy hormones, serotonin, dopamine, endorphins. Right. So deep, slow breaths is your first step. It has to be your first step because you have to switch the chemicals in your brain. It is the first step to unsticking the trauma, connecting back to your power, getting centered, and training your brain happy. So I'm going to teach you a trick from a breathing trick from my Happy Woman training program. This is a really great one. So whenever you feel anxious, right? Now that's your warning bell that you feel anxious. You got to bring yourself to center. You want to start breathing, but you want to exaggerate the exhale. So make the exhale longer and the inhale shorter. And it's just the opposite when you're feeling depressed. You want to exaggerate the inhale. You want to make the inhale longer and the exhale shorter. Because one, you want to de-escalate, and one, you want to increase energy. All right? So you're going to bring yourself to balance that way. That's a great breathing trick you can use forever. Step 3, body. So let's check in right now. Are you sitting in a comfortable position? Allow yourself to shift and move. Take a deep breath. Get yourself comfy. Have you noticed that women are really good at judging their bodies? There it is, your amazing body. It's doing all of these amazing millions of astonishing processes all at the same time, and you're judging it because it doesn't look a certain way. We have a lot of healing to do on that one. So on the Happy Woman Training Program, I teach you how to heal your relationship with your body in two main ways. So one is care, and 2 is listening. And women are really, really good at taking care of everyone and everything else, but not so great at taking care of themselves. But you can't heal your mind, your emotions, your situations if you ignore your body. Your brain needs 2 things to function properly. It needs fuel in the form of nutrients and oxygen, and it needs activation in the form of movement. If you are missing either, you will feel drained, unmotivated, unable to focus. You won't produce enough dopamine, which leads to depression, which leads into your lack of ability to move when you don't want to get off the couch, when you just feel like you can't move. And that's because those hormones, right? All those little stresses, all those hormone chemicals that get released into your body throughout your day, throughout your years, throughout your life, it's like they're filling up a bucket inside of you. I was calling it a stress bucket. In Z Health, we learn it's a threat bucket, right? So if you can imagine yourself as this bucket full of water. Have you ever tried to carry a full bucket of water without sloshing any out? It's almost impossible. Even 3/4 full, if you're just walking along, going along your business, it sloshes and it can slosh out. When that slosh out happens, it happens in these deep emotional outbursts. It happens in the form of pain. Some kind of pain, whether it's physical or emotional pain. And that pain lets you know that something is wrong, and it's not to be ignored. Your body and your feelings, everything going on inside of you, they're not to be ignored. It's trying to get your attention so that you can change your behavior. In that way, your pain is trying to help you. So give your brain, give your body care through nutrition, breath, and movement. Movement. Remember, trauma is stuck stress. It freezes you up. It creates that tension in your soft tissue. So daily physical movement of some kind has to be part of your successful healing process. I teach something called the nonlinear movement method. I know a lot of you have been to that class. That is the thing that helped me, that helps my clients. I started getting treated for chronic tension at 12 years old, and I had it until I was almost 50. It was from using the nonlinear movement method that got all of that trauma to let go. In fact, I taught a class in September, and there was a woman there. She'd been a police officer for 35 years. She learned how to do the nonlinear movement method that day. She called me in December to tell me that she had had a lifetime of chronic pain, right? You can imagine. She called me in December to tell me that she had just gotten back from the chiropractor, and the chiropractor said, "I've got nothing to adjust." How freaking amazing is that? The nonlinear movement method, it thaws out in a safe way. You don't want to do anything too fast. Healing trauma is about pacing. It's about finding organic pace. So you don't want to do anything too fast because it will re-traumatize you. So that's why I love that so much. So women are good at taking care of others. Women are good at judging their bodies. They're good at ignoring pain. They're also very good at ignoring intuition. The more you heal your relationship with your body, the easier it is to feel centered. The better you get at hearing your intuition, and the more powerful and confident you feel. When you can listen to your own wisdom and then follow through on it, you are much less likely to doubt yourself or get influenced by outside forces. I have an intuition system I teach called inner green light, inner yellow light, inner red light. Now the green light is easy. That's a yes. That's like 100% yes. You got it. It's just, whoo, green light. A yellow light is, I don't know. I'm not sure. And usually a yellow light's also good because it usually just means that you need more time or more information. You maybe got to do some research and sit with it. Red light. Red light's the trickiest. A red light could just be a clear no, but sometimes it's hard to tell if you're actually feeling fear, if you're scared or you're triggered by what's going on. And since it's the brain's job to protect you from threat, but if something is just new, if it's a new concept, a new thing going on around you, that brain of yours that's trying to keep you safe could view change or something new as a threat, even if it's a really good thing. That's why the inner red light is so tricky. So this new thing could seem threatening, even though it's not. So I usually say a clear no has no fear or no negative emotion attached to it. But here's the next tricky piece. What if you're just numb? What's the difference between clear emotion, numbness, and a clear no? Oh, that one has taken me a lot of training to figure out. It does. It's a tough one. It really takes a lot of training to be able to discern the difference between no emotion, and numbness. And I love helping women find new ways to love, care for, and listen to their one precious body. You are valuable, you matter, and you are worth taking care of yourself. Step 4. B. Step 4 is B. B. This step can be the hardest ones for my clients to master. Mostly, I think, because we live in a society that values doing, it values action and getting things done, and it sees being as laziness and bad. And women notoriously push themselves too hard. There are so many things to take care of in your day, and you can never get it all done. Has it occurred to you that you are completely unrealistic about how much you think you should be able to get done in a day? You might be piling up too much, which is traumatizing. The problem isn't that you aren't doing enough fast enough. The problem is that you're giving yourself an impossible amount of things to accomplish in a day. And I've heard women say, if I'm not stressed out, I won't get anything done. Neuroscience proves that's bullshit. The Norwegian University of Science and Technology proved that alpha and theta waves, that's the healing brain waves, that alpha and theta waves increase when a state of being occurs, which also increases learning, memory, intuition, and it makes you more creative and more productive while feeling more relaxed. Yes, relaxed, productive, creative, healing, all go together. I was so proud of my client. Just the other day, she said to me, she's such an overdoer, she's such an overachiever. And she said that she finally set a reasonable amount of things for herself to do in a day. And while she was busy all day, she could stay centered, and that for the first time, she enjoyed a busy day. And she went through it calmly. And at the end of the day, she felt satisfied. And when she said that word, satisfied, I felt it. I was like, yes. It's so great when your clients like really get it, you know? So I vote for satisfaction over beating myself up any day. So when you set unrealistic expectations, you keep yourself from being happy. It's a habit. It's become an addiction to feeling bad. And it's time to change that around. So not only does more being time boost your productivity, but it could also save you money. I have treated too many good women who overdid it for so many years that they end up unable to get out of bed for months because of sickness, broken bones, or adrenal burnout. So, thumbs up. I want to see you. Thumbs up if you understand that you boost your self-worth by giving yourself time to just be every day. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Excellent. That leads us to step 5. Bold. This is where you take action to bring yourself to center. Now, usually people use this as the first step and then they get frustrated that it's not working so great. Here you are doing all these great healing things for yourself and they're not working. But now you know the science and you know the neuroscience and neurobiology behind that of why these awesome actions you're taking weren't giving you the results that you wanted. It's because you have to do those other 4 steps first. So in step 5, bold, we divide your action into 2 directions. Inner world actions is first. Anything you can do on your own that calms and centers you. You can go ahead and put some on your worksheet right now. I asked you to list 3. I'll tell you why later. So journaling, visualization, reading, having a cup of tea, taking a bath, painting, cooking, singing, playing an instrument, positive affirmations or mindset work. All of those are inner world ways. The way I teach mindset is at a quantumly deeper level. I call it Mindset Happy Woman Academy style. And we not only use your thoughts, but we use all of your senses, emotions, and energy. And if you are like every woman I have ever worked with, then you are probably way too hard on yourself. The cruel words and actions from others have become internalized, and now you're bullying yourself because we repeat it until we heal it. So studies show women criticize themselves a minimum of 8 times a day, with 40% admitting they start before 9 a.m. Because of trauma and post-traumatic stress, the mind draws conclusions that the world around you is a bad and dangerous place. And that's how your brain functions, right? The initial function is to keep you safe. So it starts piling up all of the painful beliefs in your unconscious mind. And these painful beliefs are running your life 95 to 99% of the time. 95 to 99% of the time, we are running on unconsciousness, not conscious awareness. So women who are successful at healing the effects of trauma are very kind in their minds. When I first started working with my client, Gina, changed the name, she had this terrible habit of making plans with other people, and 9 out of 10 times she'd cancel them. And through working with me, we got to this unconscious belief that she believed she mattered so little that she wouldn't care if other people, she believed she mattered so little that she didn't think anyone else would care whether or not she showed up. That is a very painful belief. So it kept her from networking in her business, which cost her deals and a whole bunch of money. It kept her from connecting deeply with her man, kept her from having a whole lot of fun with friends. So when we started working together, she really drilled down on this. She really got serious about being kind in her mind. And within 3 months, she got a job offer in New York in the field she wanted. She moved to New York. Her boyfriend showed up, proposed. It was a complete game changer. She's so completely healed. And about 18 months ago, I noticed a huge change for myself. My background noise used to feel like, oh God, you're so freaking stupid. I can't believe you did that. You're such an idiot. You're never going to get it. That's what I felt like for over 50 years. That was what was going on in the back of my mind. What I noticed 18 months ago was that my background noise sounds like, oh girl, you are so doing your best. You really did a good job there. You'll do better next time. But you know what? That was great. I love you. I love you, girl. You're going to get it. It was a complete change for me. And because it's your brain's job to keep you safe and keep you alive, it's going to keep an eye out for anything threatening around you at all times. So it pays more attention to negative thoughts. Maybe you've noticed that once you start thinking something sad or hurtful, that it has a snowball effect and it just keeps going and picking up steam. And that's because research shows that for every one negative thought, you need 5 positive thoughts just to neutralize it. That means you need 6 or more positive thoughts to even have a chance to start feeling happy. Let's look quickly exactly at how brain training works. So when you were a little kid, like a toddler, and you're learning how to brush your teeth, it was really hard. You could hardly control your arm, right? But then after trying again and again, morning and night, you built a new neural pathway. When we have a new behavior, there isn't a neural pathway. But after we do something a whole bunch of times, we create a neural pathway in your brain. And now it's very easy for you to brush your teeth. You don't even have to think about it. So when you're learning something new, it's like you're walking through a jungle and all you've got is a nail clippers. You're trying to go like this to build a neural pathway in your brain. That's why new behaviors, or that's why behavior change is so hard when you're trying to learn something new, right? But with repeated use, that little path becomes a well-worn path, becomes a superhighway, right? So we strengthen those neural pathways by repeating the action. And they also weaken with disuse. So the more you do something, stronger the neural pathway gets. So that's super great when you're learning how to do anything good, like drive a car, play the piano. But that's not so great when you have strong neural pathways to self-destructive behaviors, right? So you train your brain through repetition of thoughts, words, actions, visualizations, directing energy, and feeling emotional states. So in fact, they've done experiments with Buddhist monks connected to EEG machines. And while they were meditating, it showed that you can lower your blood pressure, boost your immune system, create new neural pathways, and actively change your brain structure by thinking positively, positive imagination, and expanded states of consciousness. And molecular biologists have proven that your genes get manipulated by how your mind perceives and interprets the environment. So a positive or negative attitude sends a message to the cell, and it can actually reprogram the cell's health and behavior. It can even change cellular structure, turning disease cells into healthy cells. So in short, negative thinking can hurt your body, positive thinking can help your body, and our beliefs become a reality. Since you are always believing in something, doesn't it make sense to replace your painful beliefs with positive ones? Yes, I think so, right? If you're believing something at all times, might as well be believing something that makes you feel good, that produces happy hormones, and that sends healing to your cells. So in my programs, I teach lots of inner world ways, like how to direct your energy for self-healing and holistic ways to train your brain, and how to hold happy energy frequencies for longer periods of time. When you're not used to feeling positive and happy, it feels foreign, it feels weird, and your unconscious mind rejects the happiness and positivity. And it keeps in place what it knows, which is pain and trauma. So start where you are. And little by little, with practice, you will be able to create new neural pathways to happy thoughts and behaviors. And I promise it will keep getting easier and easier and easier. So I saved my favorite inner world way for last. My favorite inner world way that I've been using a lot in the last year, and is part of why I think I had such a great year last year, is align with your highest good. Align with your highest good. And why I love that is because it gets me off the hook of trying to figure out how to do everything myself. I just keep affirming and aligning with my highest good. I don't even have to know what my highest good is. I just keep that energy frequency going. So then when things don't work out for you, don't work out the way you wanted it to, you can be happy about it. And you can be like, oh, I'm so glad that didn't work out, because clearly something better is coming for me because I'm aligned with my highest good. It's my favorite bold inner world move. So the second part of bold is outer world actions. Outer world actions. So we got inner world, outer world. Outer world actions are anything you can do that are fun, that make you feel centered, like hiking, playing sports, being in nature, playing with your dog, getting together with friends, going dancing, listening to music, playing music in a band or singing in a choir. The list goes on and on. I know that you have at least 3 things you love to do that help feel you centered. So go ahead and write those down on your list. And doing those things also puts you in places where other happy, centered, positive people are, because they're out there doing the things that make them really feel great. And I gave myself permission to do an outer world action I had never done before, which was to play beach volleyball. And that is how I met my man. So you never know who you're gonna meet in those awesome places that are where you're feeling your best, right? So have fun, play with bold inner world and outer world actions every day, but do them after you bring yourself to center by using your breath, caring for and moving your body, even if it's just a little. You can do this really fast. It doesn't have to be a big, huge, hard thing. I want this to be very natural for you, right? It becomes your new normal way of being, where you're constantly checking in, taking that breath, moving your body, make sure you've had enough food and water and rest. Giving yourself that time and space to be, not pushing yourself so hard, and then doing the positive affirmation, then doing the yoga, then going for a walk in nature, right? If you're an Abraham Hicks fan, this whole thing is about how to get you into the vortex. This is how to get yourself into the vortex. I actually took you through the steps when we opened. Took you through. Bring yourself to center by using your breath, body, be. And then we got in alignment. Yes! So, I made you a promise. I promised to tell you the number one thing that makes all of this stick. And that is consistency. Without exception, every woman that succeeds with overcoming trauma and pain and feeling centered and powerful and worthy and confident puts this into practice every single day. And that's why I put my clients on a 12-month training program, so that you can create the changes in your neurobiology to actually get real healing on a mental, cellular, energetic, and emotional level. It doesn't have to be tricky, hard, or complicated. Just use these 5 steps. Oh my God, one of my clients, we just got through the B part. So we spend 6-7 weeks just on B. We got through that part. And I've been working with her for a while, and she said, I just got it. I just got using the Happy Woman formula, just normally, just all day, every day. And she's just had the best 3 months of her life. It is so powerful what I'm teaching you here. And the truth is that people are far more practiced at stressing out than staying centered. So when you stop focusing on your drama, you have more energy to feel centered. So do these 5 steps over and over. And it's very easy to do, but the problem with anything new is it can be hard to stay on track doing it alone. So women know that women who heal know that no matter how smart, strong, and capable they are, you just can't do it all by yourself. It takes other people to see where you are blind and to help you get through your darkness into your light. So I invite you to really practice, to even share. This is going to be a recorded, right? So even share this with your friends. You can get together with your friends and do this. And you will see the difference, because it's been actually proven in science that when you have other people helping you, you learn faster. So if you're serious about healing and getting support, and if it sounds like fun to you to do this in a group, Melissa and a bunch of other women have talked me into offering a brand new group program. Now, I have never offered it in this way before, because when I did offer my first group program with the Happy Woman Formula 5 years ago, that is when I learned that it really does take a year to go through every step, because I'm teaching over 40 exercises that you can do on your own. So I really sat with it. I really sat with how can I do this in a way that truly serves women, that is an easy bite-sized amount. So does anyone want to see what I came up with? I'm going to unmute you. All right. Does anyone want to see what I came up with?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's pretty freaking cool. I'm kind of proud of myself. So I'm going to drop this into your, I'm going to drop this into here. So if you click that link, it's in your chat box. If you click that link, you'll be able to see it for yourself.
I don't see a link in the chat box.
You don't see a link in the chat box?
I
No.
don't either.
Oh, okay. That's because I only sent it to Carrie. Here we go.
I got it.
Carrie's like, there you go. Everyone has it now. Got it?
How do I get back to the meeting? Ah.
That's okay. I'm going to go over it, right? So this is what I came up with, the Happy Woman Group Training Program. This is a science-based sacred circle for spiritual women. And I'm going to take you through, well, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the entire year-long training. And I'm going to take you through and get you started for the first 3 months. So 3 weeks every month. For 3 weeks every month, we will meet like this. And you will receive healing from me. We will be in a sacred group. I've run, gosh, at this point I've run almost 400 groups. So we'll be in a sacred healing circle. I will help you wherever you're stumbling. And every week you'll get a new training module to focus on. So I'll help you for 3 months straight. And I really sat with like, how can I make this utterly, totally, and completely irresistible for you, right? Because I know that the mind doesn't like change and it gets scared of new things. So if you see where, if you scroll down, you'll see it says level 1, 3-month jumpstart. So that's what I'm talking about. That's everything we're going to cover in that our 3 months together. But I wanted to make it really, really, really juicy and irresistible. So you're going to get the entire year program. You're going to get 3 months of calls with me plus 2 bonus calls. So like a startup, a beginning call, and then a closure call. You're going to get 3 months. So every month I do a nonlinear movement method class. That's going to be included too. So every month, at least once a month, we will get together and do nonlinear movement together. And then you can do it on your own. I'm going to set up a completely private Facebook group just for us. No one else is going to be able to get in so that you can support each other. And if you sign up today, I'm also going to give you a ticket to an entire weekend retreat. I think that's pretty awesome.
That's juicy.
I think that's pretty awesome because my weekend retreats, they start at $400. So I think that's a pretty awesome deal, right?
Yeah.
So I sat with this, and the amount that came through me, I'm just being really candid. The amount that came through me for this 3 months, this whole year program and 3 months of my help was $2,500. I wanted to make it irresistible, so I took it down to $2,000. And I had to really sit with my own self-worth, my own integrity, which is a process that I really teach you how to do so that you don't undervalue yourself and you don't undervalue what it is that you offer in the world. And I talked with Melissa about this for a little bit. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'm going to need at least 10 women to really do this. So for the first 10 women, I'm going to make it, if you pay up front, just $1,200. Just a $1,200 investment for all of that. I know for some of you, that's a lot. For others of you, that's a drop in the bucket. I get it. For everything that I have taught you here today, and that was just 1 hour, how worth it? is it for you to be able to master these skills? So check in with your own inner green, yellow, or red light and see if it's in alignment for you. If you get that internal yes, I urge you to just click the button that says I'm all in. If that doesn't work for you, if you're all in, but you need some time, there's a payment plan, which is $697 down, $697 again before the class begins. So that's a way you can break it up for yourself into bite-sized pieces. I want to honor our time. I see what time it is. We'll start the Q&A after party in just a moment. But I want to leave you with, I know how hard it can be to go through your life stumbling over the same blocks again and again. I know how frustrating it can be to have a bunch of tools and not know the order to put them in and not be able to get the results you want. I've mastered it. I am here for you. I am here to help you. And oh my God, when women come together to heal together, we are so freaking powerful. We are amazing. And we need to come together, especially now with all the crazy going on in the world. We need to come together to lift each other up. So I invite you into this sacred healing circle. If you want more, if you scroll down, you'll see there's more options. If you want any of those options, a 6-month or a 12-month, go ahead and press the I'm all in button or the secure my spot button, and you can put a little note in there that says you want to talk to me. And we'll talk and we'll see if those are really in alignment for you. Okay? Right now, all you need to do is stake your claim. What is it? Put your flag in the sand. Stake your claim and make this commitment to yourself for your own healing. So I'm going to close this part of our class. I thank you so much for being here. I know you wouldn't have come and you wouldn't have watched this if you weren't committed to your healing. So whether I am with you or we are together in this sacred circle, this group training coming up or not, please, please, please use the Happy Woman formula. It always works. It's science. It always works. Do it in that order. And if you want to stay for the Q&A after party, you are welcome to stay. Otherwise, I bow to you. I honor you. I'm Elizabeth Menzel of thehappywomanacademy.com. Thank you for being you. All right. And the Q&A after party begins. It's virtual like this. That's right. The weekend retreat will be in person, but the group training will be like this. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, Tanya, oh my gosh, you made it. Thank you. Thank you, honey. I'm so glad you made it. Does anyone have any questions? Anything about any of the content? Oh, okay. Don't know yet, honey. Don't know when the retreat will be. We'll see. It'll be agreed on by everybody. Same with the times of the classes. Like we'll agree. We'll come to consensus, and it'll work for and suit everyone. Especially because I have people in different time zones. So we'll make it work so that it's going to work for everybody. Sure, you're welcome. Yellow light. You always honor it. You know. You don't want to gloss over your green light. You know, a lot of times people say they need to think about something because of fear, but we want to lead from our power. You're so welcome. Thank you so much for coming today. Oh my God, usually we have tons of questions. It's nice to see you.
You too.
I love your yellow.
Trying to be sunny. Being sunny today. It's sunny outside, so yay.
Oh, I know. We're both East Coast now. It's amazing, right?
I know, right? It's
Hi,
bizarre.
Valeria, honey.
We've been
It's nice to
deployed.
see you. So great. Oh, nice. I hear someone typing, but I don't know if that's for me or not. Let's see. I like you guys are typing messages to each other. That's so cute. I love it.
I had a question up here.
Yeah.
In the Happy Woman formula, I completely blanked on the first word.
The word happy?
No, the
Oh,
the first
bring.
one. What's it?
Bring.
That's right.
Bring
'Cause I
yourself
found
to
this.
center,
I just couldn't do it.
right? Bring yourself to get to center. You could also use it as become aware,
Uh-huh.
right? So whenever you notice, if you're not on, you're off.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
My girlfriend says, if it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no.
Well, the first step for not being centered for me is blank. Or block. You know, it's like instead of be, it's like I don't remember that I'm off center, and I don't quite notice that there's something that I need to switch.
Yeah.
Because it seems like I've got things together, you know, or I've got some coping skills going, and it's like,
right.
What do you mean I'm off? Myself says.
You know, and that's such a great point, because that's a thing about getting, like, even if, because I know a lot of people here, right, they're already skilled practitioners, right? And we can always get more and more and more aware. I don't think the awareness process stops, right? So with my clients that I've been working with a long time, I say it used to be a 2x4 had to hit you across the head before you noticed your shit.
Yeah.
And now it's like adjusting a hair.
Yeah.
It's like one hair being out of place, you know? It's that fine-tuned now.
Yeah.
So I get it. So I hear, so, you know, the Facebook is it's just a support group for you guys, so you have a connection for each other. It's not the forum that the classes are going to take place in. So it doesn't matter if you're not in the Facebook group, if you don't want to be on that. It just gives us a forum for everyone else to share in and to voice their stuff. I've actually, in the past, I've had several women who aren't even on Facebook at all, who don't even have accounts, and they set up a private one just to go into the group, just for this, and some that just skip it. It's fine. You're so welcome, Anna. I hope you really use it. It's, you know, it's just my life's work. Let's see. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome, honey. Inner world, what other actions? Okay, great. So what other inner world actions? Journaling. For me, having a cup of tea. Actually, one of my inner world actions is cleaning. When I clean and organize, I don't know if you've watched Marie Kondo's show. I actually did my thesis on the relationship you have to the objects in your home and how they affect your emotions, relationships, and creativity. So I'm very tuned into all of that. So creating space is one of my actions. And then all of the inner world work. So on the course, you learn, I mean, geez, 30 or more inner world actions. So they're how to regulate and control your own energy. They're what I've done through my 10 years of training, but I've distilled them into really easy ways for you to tap into and do. You know, in energy healing, I'm sure you've all heard of chakras, and I'm not a very spiritual woo-woo person, but what you might not know is that chakras are nerve plexuses. They're actually where a whole bunch of nerves come together. and have very specific functions. So you can do things that affect the nerve and brain function in these different areas, in these different chakras, that really, really change how you feel and how you function. So it is a very deep training on how you function in the inside, which determines how you function on the outside. Oh, yes, right. I mean, there's so much depth about the relationship to the objects in your home. I mean, I did a massive thesis on it, and there's huge books about it, but it's really astonishing. And then there's people who just couldn't give a toss, like my boyfriend. I just couldn't. Like, I literally feel, oh my God, and if you're into it, I've got a novel for you. I feel the placement of every little thing. I mean, a couple of you were here when I was like setting these flowers here. How many times did I shift them, right? Like they had to get into their exact spot. The lamp had to get in the exact spot. And that's how I create order. And right, when we have structure, then we can flow. You know, the talk I just gave you has a structure, but I don't sit here and read every word for word. I get to flow over the structure. So we go into that a lot in the training as well, is creating your own version of your healthy structure so that you can be creative and be in your feminine flow, right? Masculine is structure, feminine is flow. I didn't mention that in this talk, but I am certified and trained in masculine and feminine energies and how they operate. And I do a lot of that in the work that we do together. So let's see. Okay, so I'll tell you that please come to your house to clean it. You can hire people to do it, girl, because you know what? If it's not your joy, I am so all for it. If it's not your joy, don't do it. Like, I'd say my 3 closest girlfriends love cooking, and cooking is my nightmare. It's just my nemesis. So like, I don't enjoy it. One of my biggest things is like win the lottery so I can hire a full-time chef. Damn, I would love that. So let me tell you about these books since we don't have this other stuff going on. You can go ahead and still ask questions though. Okay, so there's these huge novels called The Name of the Wind. Is that what they're called? No, The Kingkiller Chronicles. The Kingkiller Chronicles. It's by Patrick Rothfuss. He has a character in there, and he wrote a little side novel for that character. Hi, baby. Wrote a little side novel. Her name is Ari, and she feels the space around her to like the millionth degree. I think you'd really enjoy that book. I can't remember the name of that particular book. Oh, it's so amazing. If class times aren't set yet, about when do you target to start, in a month or this summer? So I target to start if and when I get 10 women. I'd start you on the course, you know, within the next few weeks. But then the actual trainings would start. It's very much by consensus, you know? So they'd probably start, you know, in the next month or so. This is going to happen in a very organic way. This is my deep truth. I only want to do things that are in alignment for me and the people I'm doing them with. That's my agreement. Right? We've only just met, like that's how we got along so well, right? It was just like, only if this is alignment are we going to do this vision board party together, right? There was no pressure. There was an opening, an invitation, alignment. Yep, we both felt alignment. We did it. It freaking kicked ass. It was awesome. Great. I'm so glad it added to your knowledge. And do it in that order. Do it in that order. Like I said, I mean, gosh, women I've worked with for a long time, it's sometimes even then after you have to really do it for a while before it's like, oh damn, this is for real. It's just, that's how we are, and we are, our power, our essence, our worth is buried under so many years of gunk, you know, of stress and crap and trauma. So it can take a while to unpack that. So really, I mean, do yourself the honor and the service of really putting this into place, of really practicing it. Thank you. Valeria's got her baby. Her baby. All right, so anything else, or shall we close? All right, well, I am going to trust you to really use this wisdom, to let it guide you, to let yourself notice that anytime you're not feeling centered, all you have to do is take a breath, check in with your body, make sure you have enough food, sleep, and deep breaths. Give yourself that time and space to be, and then take some action. It can be inner world or outer world, doesn't matter. When it's too hard, you phone a friend, you get help, you get support. All right? I bow to you and the powerful woman you truly are. Thank you so much for being with me. I'm sending you all love. It's so nice to see you. Thank you. Oh, love to you.
Bye-bye.
Mwah. Bye.